Guys and dolls, Freedom Dad here, and a couple of videos for you. Fucking, it took me a wee while to get round to being able to even speak to you, to be honest with you. So yeah, the last one's pretty horrific, and links are in the description. I'm going to leave the titles up so you can see where they come from. If you can't work the links out, then you can just copy what you see into your search bar and you can watch the videos in full. I am going to take a couple of clips from the first video. It is a bit deep. It's it's self-explanatory. Something in my eye. Sorry, guys, but yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult, and I'm only going to put this one clip up, and of the other video, you need to go and watch the whole thing yourselves. But yeah, this is how I'm doing it.
Gavin O'Callaghan reporting. Let's talk now to Michael Murphy, a former Deputy Director of Military Intelligence at the Irish Defence Forces, who now works for Sit Arms, a company which provides security and intelligence assessments. Michael, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. As we heard there, government officials have highlighted concerns that Ireland may not be able to adequately conduct security screening because it doesn't have access to these EU computer databases. What's your assessment of those concerns?
Well, I think if you look at start to begin, the government is responsible for the security of the state and the safety of its people. Now, it has been met with challenges in relation to mass migration the last number of years, and so therefore has produced this plan. Now, when it's writing that plan, they had to take certain factors into account. One of them was that we are partner with the United Kingdom in a common travel area. So they can't do anything that would jeopardise that agreement. Also, they have to balance between humanitarian issues and security. So therefore, that's what this plan is addressing. One thing the plan does not address, which is important, is that it doesn't address our agreements with the United Kingdom in relation to the movement of people across the border with Northern Ireland. And so therefore, that's a great weakness that is not addressed.
Do you see vulnerabilities for Ireland then?
I would think it's a lesser vulnerability than the fact that we don't have control of between what's happening between ourselves and the United Kingdom. It's a weakness, but I think it can be covered by other systems. We actually signed into the advanced personal information, and we also signed into the personal name record for travelling into this country to prevent terrorism. We're not applying those, so therefore, if they were applied, it would certainly cover a lot of the difficulties that we see here by not signing into these three agreements.
If different standards are applying in different parts of the EU and indeed in Britain, what needs to be done to resolve that?
Well, certainly we need an agreement with the United Kingdom, because that's where a lot of the people coming into the country and seeking asylum are coming from. And so therefore, as the government is saying, or they're saying that they can actually replicate in somewhat way the three systems that we're not signing up to in the European Union. Certainly, like the ESTA, which would be similar to if you fly to the United States, you have to sign up ESTA, and you also have to fill in the personal information before you arrive. So the state already knows who's coming into the state.
Do you think the asylum system in this country is a system which could then potentially be exploited by bad actors?
Absolutely. The system is wide open for abuse. You have people coming in, travelling in from without passports. We don't know who they are. If you're coming from a third country, say far away, how do you do the security check on who they are? And they can come in on a false passport, they can come in and stay in the country, not ever be discovered. So therefore, yes, our system, our lack of border control is a security threat to the state.
And it needs to be fixed how?
Well, I think first thing is actually balancing a little bit more to the security side and look after the genuine people who are fleeing war. There's a lot of people who are not fleeing war and using the system to get into the country. That abuse is actually hurting those who are genuinely looking for asylum.
All right. Michael, thank you very much for speaking with us today. It's Michael Murphy, former Deputy Director of Military Intelligence at the Irish Defence Forces.
So, as you can see, pretty much that came out yesterday, and basically it's everything we're saying. Not everything I'm saying, everything we're saying. And I'm glad we're on the right track, and I'm glad we're starting to get a bit of traction. Even if it is Ireland, at least we've got a voice somewhere on this land. And hopefully our politicians will start listening to what's going on in Ireland as well. Because they seem to be oblivious to what's going on in England for the last 15 years. And don't seem to care too much apart from the check coming from Westminster. So pay attention, guys. You know, this isn't no game. This is children's lives at stake. So there's a warning coming with this, guys. You know, please, if you're going through trauma or you deal with trauma, anything from childhood abuse, please don't watch this. You don't need to watch it. It's about the grooming gangs. You know what happened to them. You know what they went through, some of them girls. But sometimes we need to be reminded, because sometimes it's important that we know these things going forward. And sometimes this is the kind of things we have to do to save our children. I'm Freedom Dad, and God bless.
Court transcripts. Even when the victims themselves say they should be released. So you ask yourself, how much worse must these transcripts be? I'm going to give you one example so you can understand the sheer scale of the problem. And I'm telling you guys, this is grim. This is grim. On October the 27th in 2006, a 12-year-old girl from Oldham called Samantha was abducted by two Asian men. They drove her around for hours and they raped her in the car before throwing her out while the vehicle was moving. After getting up and running away, she asked another man for help. And he invited young Samantha into his home, dragged her upstairs, and sexually abused her again. She only managed to escape because he went on his phone to invite other Asian men to come and help or join in. A taxi driver and his passenger pulled up beside her as she fled and asked her if she was okay. They actually said to her, "You look upset, you look like you've been through hell. Jump into the taxi, we'll help you and we'll take you to the police station." But they took 12-year-old Samantha, who's only 3 years older than my own daughter, my youngest daughter, to another house, locked her in a room where 5 more Asian men raped her over and over again for nearly 24 hours. Horrific stuff. The ringleader, Shakil Chowdhury, received a sentence of just 3 years for orchestrating these horrific attacks. Now, I ask you another question. What does that story reveal? What does it mean that a teenage girl, in fact, she wasn't teenage, she was 12, not even teenage, in an English town could be abducted and raped 3 times in one day by 3 different groups of men, all within a few square miles of each other?